What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Swampscott. It's better than it sounds. Let's play Season 9, Episode number 13, he says with conviction. 12. Episode 14, he says with conviction, upon second thought. And now I'm even doubting myself again. Anyways, hey, we're here to build. Hopefully that's what you came here for today. To have some fun, maybe learn some tips and tricks, maybe watch me make some mistakes and watch things burn down to the ground. Speaking of, fire does not disappoint around here. They're already putting it out, don't worry. Sorry to disappoint this early on. It's not a barn burner yet, but stay tuned. It might just get there. In the last episode, we kind of built up a little area over here, though I didn't finish connecting it really. So I gotta see what's up with that little junction right there. This is kind of messing things up. That pillar. That one. So we've got to work around that. We've got to maybe paint some zoning down also to do... We didn't quite get that straight, so we'll do this. Kind of meet in the middle? No. Not really. Let's get most of the way there. Can we do that? Is that stupid? It'll work. Alright. Let's get the highway reconnected before I forget, because that is a possibility. Did I line up the pillars right? I think that I did. That's why that one's one off. And then let's see if we can get this connected. It's a little slop, and we'll come back and clean it up. This is the first kind of intersection I slapped together in this city, and it's not the prettiest thing, right? They get better. They get better. Here's a little trumpet that this wraps around way too tight. Like I said, they get better. I like this one a lot. It's a smooth, kind of flowy intersection. And then I did this one, I think, off camera. I still probably didn't post that time-lapse build of this one, but I wasn't talking much trying to figure it out, so it wasn't very entertaining play. Got all that set up, got the train station, and then quickly changed it over to a metro hub. So this half is the train that comes in from the outside world. This half is a metro that hooks up into the metro, and nobody takes it. They all walk on foot to the nearest metro station, so that was kind of a pointless upgrade, unfortunately. So over here, okay, we've connected on this side so people can travel that way. They can get in over here. I think at some point we may want to do a roundabout up this way, or some way to divide traffic off and get it flowing every which way. This is eventually going to get heavier. I'm kind of surprised it isn't. But let's district over here. Wrong tool. Why don't we do the large brush and paint everything that's obviously in here. We'll do that for now. Because what we want to say is we want to be able to stamp down on this, the Old Town policy, over on city planning. I use this one all the time since I discovered it. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite policies. Only residents and businesses can use the area for motor vehicle traffic. Ban other motor vehicles. So basically, if you're over here, and you want to come into here, totally fine. You want to do some business, some shopping, you can do that. If you want to go over here, you cannot cut through this zone. Or you can using mass transit, just not via a car. So if you want to walk it, that's fine. If you want to hop on metro or something like that, that's good too. But we haven't done any of those things over here. So maybe we'll drop that in today. But we should expand and continue to build up a little bit. I'm regretting some of this density choice here. And I think what I want to do is make this a lower density and fill this in with some trees, create some separation. So since we have no residential demand, before people move in, like, where do we cut this off? You know, that's our main street. We've got a couple offices. Maybe we've got a couple apartments that are high-rise band right behind that. But then I think we got to get right into low density. So we're going to move a bunch of people out. Can I There was a click where it was going to let me do all of that. We'll just spam some buttons. Come on, get in there. Because I want this to feel a little more cohesive. And one of the things I tend to do, one of the things I make a mistake on, my downtowns are way too big for the rest of the build. And we don't need all this high density over here. It'd be nice for expansion. And I might regret this later on when we have to build a ton more residential areas. But it works. I think it's going to make a more aesthetically pleasing city overall. So let's do that. Let's watch a bunch of people move out. That might actually raise some demand if we move enough people out, because now you can't squeeze as many people into that zone. What we were going to do, though, what I was thinking, right, is maybe we can get a train station over here, a cargo train, coming in from the outside, and that could supply all the goods and services into what will be our next big pocket of commercial over here. And I think this we could do high density, right? I think that's okay over here by the train tracks. But I also want to... So 11 gives us that space for a pedestrian path. 12, 13, 14 might give us some space for some of the unique buildings that we can start to think about cramming in. And I'd like to get at least one over here. So let's give ourselves kind of a spacer block that we can work with. And then we've got this train connection over here. I'd kind of like to hook in, I don't know, before and after somehow. So let's look at that real quick. Let's look at trains. Let's look at a cargo hub. And consider dropping that in down here. Now, the other thing that we did here is we did Old Town, which means that any of the trucks driving in here, they can pick up stuff, they can drop off stuff here, but they can't then go into other parts of the city. So this shouldn't generate too much traffic because it's going to be feeding the commercial complexes that we've got right here. In the meantime, zoning. This will do high density. We'll come back and check our high-rise bands at some point. But again, we're doing well enough money-wise we could afford to de-zone or move out a bunch of people based on the needs. We'll fill all this in for now. We're going to overwrite some of the central block with some uniques, but not too many. And then maybe we could even fill in with some, looks like slightly off-center pedestrian paths, because we went with an even number here in the middle. Whoops. It's all right. Doesn't have to be perfect on center. Maybe it does, but it won't be, so get over it. Let's extend water coverage. Where was our grid? Right here. May as well stay on it where we can. May as well connect in there. So overlap that. Water-wise, we're going to need some water soon. Connect into that for some redundancy, and then we'll connect this because we never know. We might move in a couple people or shops on that street. So that is filling in. Let's pause real quick and figure out how do we get this hooked into our trains now. So coming in from this way, easy enough, right? Just hook it straight up. That works. But how do we get out of here? That's the question. So if we wanted to go this way, I did not mean to do that. I kind of liked where it was snapping. I think it auto-saved on me. Okay, so coming in either direction or going out either direction, that should work. We also want to get them connected over here because there's not an easy way for them to leave here. They can't make a sharp left-hand turn. They can't come around that way. So we want them to be able to get over to here if that's the external route that they want to hit. And we could probably split that underground. Let's take a look. Maybe what we could do is something like this. If it'll let me come under. Will it? Okay. Alright, be difficult. Do we go over? Over and around? Alright, this is going to be temporary. Can we get on ground? Thank you. There was a spot. There was a spot where it was going to let me build. That'll have to do. It'll do for now. So that way, if you are needing to go out that direction or come in that direction, right, you can still get to the station. This will get upgraded. Don't mind this, please. Do we need this power right now? Probably. We could do it a lot simpler, though. We could connect it through this main avenue now. How high up do we have to go to get this over? Maybe I should figure that part out first, huh? Okay, so that's connected. So now we don't need this. Right? Is that it? That is bridging power across? Thanks to that block. So, power lines, you served us well. We don't need you. I don't think that we do, at least. We'll see. Maybe I missed something. Maybe people will complain. Come on. Be gone, power lines. That one we probably needed. That one we did. All right, we'll let that play. It's time for a little beautification, right? Because we've got these pockets. We've got these areas of the city that don't need to be filled. And in fact, you want some of that dead space. We're not going to turn this into a farm, so trees it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit a couple trees in here. And we're going to change the tree type. We're going to do the same thing. And we'll do it again. Okay, I didn't have my strength all the way up. Let's do that. That actually is painting trees much faster now. And we'll do the same thing. Before we fill it in, we're just going to mix a bunch of different trees, just like our map is. And we can come in and kind of clean up individual trees. Do some pockets near, you know, intersections that we might look at more. But that's a good start for us. It makes, you know, when you look at something like this, I think it gives it a nice look, right? We can tuck a park or two up here, maybe a nature reserve or a zoo. We'll do something with it. But just having those trees there makes it seem like there's some sort of natural barrier, and there's a reason that our city stops. Over here, kind of. But again, I think I talked about this in the last episode. I forget when I talk about things. But you know, where do we buy and where do we not buy? Like, you don't want these hard edges where you can avoid them, and I try to make it really minimal and not so obvious, right? Like, you know, is it obvious that there's a tile edge right there? Maybe, kind of. But it also, you know, there's a reason that it stopped. There was a bunch of trees there, and we don't need to be right up on top of the highway for a small little residential zone, right? They should have some buffers and some areas to kind of spread things out. So, demand-wise, tons and tons and tons of office demand. At least that's what we're going to give them. So maybe in this central park, this central block area, maybe we'll make that some office. And maybe we'll do a little bit of mixed zoning here or there, where we've got some offices mixed in with some of our commercial spaces that haven't filled in yet. Fill tool is really good for this, right? Just don't click on that, otherwise you're gonna do like the whole block, right? But if I click on just the space next to it, or in between where nothing's been built up yet, you could slap an office right in the middle of commercial. You could throw in an occasional apartment building, right? It's not the best idea, but it happens. Like, look around cities, look at zoning. You know, you've got if you live in a big city, you've got a commercial block right next to you. They don't want you to have to go too far to spend money. Power should, and I emphasize should, spread up there quickly enough. Maybe not quickly enough, we'll see. Because we don't have a lot of residential demand right now, and that is what is filling in up here. So we could do things the old-fashioned way and provide a little false spread. We also haven't dropped in any schools over here, I realize. Probably should get a couple of those in. So let's do 2 elementaries for this area. Those are a little close. But then let's also get a high school in over here. And this is a big enough area that we could think about dropping in some larger city services like the hospital, which fits perfectly on that block, even though it's a little lumpy. Be careful if you park there. And you can probably pick up your bumpers in the lost and found. Probably what most of the visitors to that hospital are doing. You know, while we're at it, childcare, elder care. This helps boost birth rates, and it makes everybody nice and happy. And it will fit right there, so we've got some of this space right now, and I feel like we should use it before it fills in. And we probably want some cemetery coverage over this way also. Let's do that, kind of tucked away in the back of the neighborhoods. We'll probably fill in this a little bit, since that was a natural clearing, and we'll come up with some stuff. Question's going to be, did we Old Town this? I think that we did. We did. That little car, gray car with the red circle X through it. There's probably a name for that thing. What is that red circle with the slash through it? Is there a name for that thing? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. What is the red circle with the slash through it called? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this from back here now, right? Because this is kind of what we're trying to create. I'll do my best as I can on console and ignore the texture pop-in, but I'm gonna do kind of a slow kind of flyby. Again, ignore the texture pop-in. So you've got the lower density residential, and it's still dense, right? You may live in a much smaller town where this looks crazy, but things start to build up. You know, you've got this commercial office on the main street, and then you've got commercial businesses and stuff behind supporting it. The houses get a little smaller over this way, you know, as they do off in the distance. But then the other side of the highway, this area, this strip will probably clear out. This makes sense to have some trees and maybe a unique or two in here, but we need a little bit more of a separation, just a little bit, so that when we come across and we get into all high density, it starts to grow and grow. And then you've got the Green Cities residential, which are a little taller than everything else, except for the IT, which is the tallest of the tall. And then it drops off immediately on the other side. But, you know, that's kind of the look of a lot of cities, right? You have these real dense, large downtown areas, but it's supported by otherwise relatively much more modest, comparatively that is, much more modest sized buildings. So kind of want your Skylines to do that if you're going for more of a realistic build. We've got a lot of sloppy intersections and stuff that you probably wouldn't see IRL, but we'll get there. We'll keep pushing and doing what we can bit by bit, and kind of walking you through it all as we go. But hopefully you're enjoying. I'm going to keep things a little bit shorter for today. I have a tendency to run on a little bit longer, so we're going to experiment a little bit. Shorter episodes here, longer episodes there. Hopefully, no matter what, though, you're finding the content entertaining. And if you stayed tuned this long, I'm guessing that you did. So please hit that like button. It helps the channel a ton, really more than you know, and it's greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe for more of this and lots of other cities and occasionally some other stuff. I started this channel just kind of as a gaming channel in general. But I fell in love with cities since I started it, and ended up sharing a lot of console tips and tricks because there weren't a lot of creators playing on the console side of things, because it is a little bit more limited of a feature set, but there's still plenty of people that are playing it and they need help, and hopefully these videos help you in some way, give you some ideas, some tips and tricks, inspiration. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you want to get involved in the discussion, join us over on the Discord. Fantastic group of people over there, fans of cities and fans of the channel. We talk about all kinds of things. So whether it's console or help with mods or just messing around talking about other games, stop on by, join in on the fun. But that's all for now from the town of Swampscott. It's better than it sounds. Until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.